Howdy! Welcome to the video. Today, we're going to be showing you guys how to unbox and assemble our MJM MTF e-bike. This video is intended to be a follow-along guide to show you how to get the bike out of the box, what comes with the bike, and how to get the basic assembly of it together. So let's just jump right on into it. So first thing we're going to do is get the bike out of the box. I like to use a pair of snippers just to cut it open. What we do suggest for most people is once you get the bike out of the box, to put the bike box aside. Don't destroy it down just yet in case you find any issues with the bike and you need to send it back to us for any warranty or anything like that. The box will work best for sending it back and you won't have to source one yourself. So with that all said, let's jump right on to getting this guy out of the box. Then once you have the box opened up, inside the box, down by the lower rear wheel, you're gonna find another little box. This is gonna have the pedals, the front light, and the accessories and stuff like that. So we're gonna set this to the side for now. Just remember where you put it because we are gonna be coming back to it. Then to get the bike out of the box, a few things I like to take out: styrofoam, some of the top plastics, anything that you can just reach. So now that we got the box open, we're gonna go ahead and get the bike out. This process is quite a bit easier to do if you have a second person nearby, a friend, a family member, or a coworker. Makes the process a lot smoother, but getting it out yourself is still doable. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. So what I like to do is I like to grab on the front of the frame to pull, get it up a bit, lift it and shake, kick the box away with my foot. And we set her down. Now I'm just gonna get a little more organized and we'll go ahead and start unwrapping this guy from all of its packaging. So now that we got the bike out of the box, we're gonna go ahead and start unwrapping all of the packaging and protective wear that's on top of it. So that, again, just snippers to cut all the zip ties. So let's get on to that. We'll have your fender on the bike. We can set this to the side. Front wheel comes off with 3 zip ties that you gotta snip off. We'll set this guy to the side as well. And there we go. That's the bike unwrapped. Now we're gonna get ahead onto the assembly part. The first thing I like to do is getting the handlebars on the stem, just because having them flop around while they're loose can accidentally damage the bike, cause scratches or anything like that. And especially if it's for a customer, we don't want that to happen while we're putting this together. Additionally, if you just purchase the bike and you're assembling it yourself, we don't want you scratching the bike, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put the handlebars on first. So let's get ahead and go into that. Just quickly gonna mention the tools that we're gonna need for this process. We're gonna wanna have our 5mm Allen key and a 4mm Allen key on hand, a 15mm wrench, a 10mm wrench, and an 8mm wrench, a pair of snippers, and for this video, we're gonna be using the Park Tool floor pump. If you have a compressor on hand with an air hose, that's much more convenient to use, or at your nearest gas station using their compressor filler that they have there for your car. Those are gonna be much easier for filling the tires. But that's just a quick, simple overview of the tools that are gonna be required for this build. So to get the handlebars on, we're gonna wanna use a 4mm Allen key, and we're just gonna wanna unscrew the 4 front screws holding down the front of the stem here. Now once you have that undone, grab your handlebars, grab the stem cap, get it underneath and around underneath the display, rotate it a bit, get it lined up, and then just screw it in. And there we have it. That's the handlebars now on the bike. So they're not gonna be flopping around anymore, potentially scratching up the frame. The next step we're gonna do is putting on the front wheel. So for this step, we're gonna wanna grab our 15mm wrench, and we're just gonna want to loosen off the fork separator that's currently sitting in the fork there. So we're just gonna take our wrench and loosen these guys off. You'll eventually be able to just use your fingers. There's one on the outside as well. and then it should just drop out. Do also note in the front brake here, there's a brake pad separator. We're gonna need to take that out to get the front wheel in as well. Then next, we're gonna grab our front wheel, remove the little protector piece off of the axle nut there, and toss that to the side. Then we're gonna wanna loosen up the nuts on either side of the axle. Not until they're off, but pretty close, and pull the spacers out to the nut as well. We're then gonna grab the front wheel, make sure your disc is on the correct side of the bike, grab it by the handlebars to lift up, roll your wheel in, make sure your spacers are pushed out, line up the disc into the brake there, and then set the wheel onto the axles like that. It can be a little tricky to see, but we're lining up the disc rotor into the housing behind it here. There's two pads that are sitting like this on either side, and you just want to slot the disc right in between the two of them, and then line up your axle, and your wheel should drop right onto the axle, or your fork should drop right onto that wheel for you correctly. From there, we're just going to want to tighten up the nuts on either side using a 15 mil wrench again. Now with that, we have a majority of the MTF built up. All that's left to do is to put the pedals on, put that front fender on and the front light, and then get into the finer adjustments like your derailleur, your shifting, pumping air up in your tires, lubing your chain, battery care, and all that stuff. Usually this can be easier to do in a stand, but not everybody has a stand on hand. So I'm gonna be doing this outside of the stand just to show you how it would work for anybody who's purchased the bike and is assembling this at home. So from here, what we're gonna do is grab this box that we pulled out of the original box and set to the side, open it up, and inside you're gonna find the charger for the bike, the front light that we're gonna attach with that front fender, and your pedals. So the first thing we're gonna do is get those pedals out of the box and put them on the bike. So once we have our pedals out of the box, one thing to note is they do only go on one side. If you look at the bottom, you'll see that there is a little R and a little L on the bottom of the threads. That's going to indicate which side of the bike the pedal is supposed to go on from the rider's perspective. So the little R is for the right foot, the little L is for the left foot. So because we're standing on the left side of the bike right now, we're going to go ahead and put the left pedal on. This is usually easiest done with a pedal lever. We do sell these at our shop, so you can purchase one with the purchase of your bike. But if you don't have one of these on hand, you can also just use your 15 mil wrench again. So all you want to do is get your pedal to how it's going to go in, get that wrench around the thread grasper there, line it up, and we want to just pedal backwards. Might take a second to get the threads to hold correctly. Once they do hold, it's just spin and pedal backwards until you tighten it up. And you want it pretty tight. And that's how we install pedals. And it's the exact same process on the other side. We're gonna grab that other pedal, stick that wrench around the little holder there, line it up, and we just pedal backwards until it's on. And now that we got the pedals on, the last thing we're gonna be doing for the installation and assembly phase is putting on the front fender and the front light. So for putting on the front fender, a few things we're gonna need. We're gonna wanna have our 8 mil wrench, our 10 mil wrench, and our 4 and our 5 mil Allen keys. So the first thing we're gonna do is take off this little bolt here with the nut on the back. You might be able to finger loosen it. If not, it's your 10 mil wrench and your 5 mil Allen key. 5 mil Allen key in the front, 10 mil wrench in the back, and just loosen it off. Once it's loose enough, you wanna grab that nut from the back, unscrew it, and we can now get rid or pull out the bolt. Then we wanna grab that front fender, slide it up through the back of the fork here. We then want to grab our front light. We're going to take that bolt we pulled out, stick it through the hole located at the bottom of the front light. We're going to stick that back through the fork, pull that rear fender's bolt bracket up over the bolt. Then we want to take that washer and nut we pulled off, put the washer on, and just get that nut on with your fingers. It's gonna be loose for now, but that's fine. The next part we're gonna be doing is attaching the fender arms to the brackets on either side of the bottom of the fork. So again, you're gonna wanna finger loosen this, pull that bolt out. So we'll have the nut and the bolt. Grab that fork arm, or fender arm, sorry, stick the bolt through the little hole, back through the fork bracket, and then we're gonna cap it on the other side with that nut. We're then gonna grab our 4mm Allen key and our 8mm wrench. Allen key in the front, wrench in the back, and we're just gonna tighten. And the process is the exact same on the other side. We're just gonna take out the bracket bolt here in the nut, stick the bolt back through the fender arm, put it back through the bracket, and then tighten it down with the nut. Now that we have the fender arms attached, we're gonna wanna grab our 5mm Allen key and our 10mm wrench again, and we're gonna wanna come back up to this fork bolt. So from here, we're gonna just grab the back again, the wrench, Allen key in the front, start tightening it down. Once we feel it's starting to get tight, we wanna start adjusting that light up. I usually like to hold the wrench with my bottom 3 fingers and then grab the light with my thumb and index. So just line it up and then just tighten the rest of it down. Once it's tightened down, your light is now installed. We're just gonna grab the light cable here that's hanging. It's a little red connector, a male ended one. There should be another female red ended connector, sorry, hanging from the bike. We just wanna grab those two, line up the little arrows you can see on the black housing of them. There's also a notch inside that you have to line up. Once we have that lined up, just gonna stick them together. And that's the front light and front fender installed. And there we have it. That's pretty much the basics for how to assemble and put together our MJM MTF e-bike. All that's left to do now is your smaller adjustments like your seat, your handlebar, tires, shifting, etc. We are gonna have some other videos following this one for how to adjust your shifting, how to correctly put the air in your tires, how to adjust your handlebars, and all those other kinds of smaller things that aren't pertinent to putting the actual bike together. From here, what we would suggest is getting air in your tires, riding it around, seeing if it's shifting correctly, and if it's not, coming back to our how to adjust your shifting video. Other than that, that is the simple basics of putting together the MTF. So we hope this video was helpful to you guys. And again, if you need a follow-up or you need a guide when putting this together, that is entirely what this video is intended for. If you have any further questions, you're always able to reach out to us at mjmebikes.com, send us a message, give us a call, shoot us an email, and one of us on the team will be more than happy to get back to you with assistance as soon as possible. So we hope you enjoyed the video, and we hope to see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Cheers.